Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Bugging here.
Ignore this. Ignore. Okay, I tried to do something, but we're gonna hold on. Here we go. I tried to open up on do this, and then I'm just gonna. And now, don't say a word.
The high gray flannel fog of winter closed off the Salinas Valley from the sky and from all the rest of the world. On every side it sat like a lid on the mountains and made of the Great Valley a closed pod.
So I figure I'll highlight and just get it. Did you hear that? You could hear that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Okay,
that's
good.
pretty cool.
Yeah, we'll just sit here while my computer reads the chrysanthemums. And then
You may need to change the voice.
I zoned out a couple seconds in anyway.
I use let's see if pull up a text or something. I like this guy's voice.
Some type of special on drinks and bar food on Seahawks Sundays. Tracy didn't take the time to read it before stepping inside. Flurry image. The snowfall had become a flurry by the time Tracy exited the tavern.
That's a good voice.
I like that guy, right? He's makes me feel smarter when I'm listening to something being read. So that
Makes me feel more smarter, yeah.
Yeah. Because it's a British person, British accent.
I feel like I heard this sometime, read sometime that there is there were studies showing like people tend to they'll be more engaged and they'll retain more when the person they're listening to has an accent when they're speaking with an accent. I'm sure that also depends like the thickness of the accent and like, but I don't know. Maybe it's because it sounds different. I don't know, but there's but yeah, maybe it's just that you feel more smarter. You feel gooder and smarter by listening to British guy talk.
Yeah, why not? Whatever works.
He's not like the high gray flannel fog of winter closed off like that really bad, like Dick Van Dyke, Mary Poppins. Oh, Mary Poppins!
Do they have to yell at us?
It did feel like he yelled a lot. Good old DVD. He was in. Did you ever see? He was in. He showed up in the remake. Did you ever see not the remake, but the one with Emily Blunt? I guess it was more like a sequel.
Did I don't. I'm trying to remember if I watched it. I know I rewatched the original, and it's rough. Like I'm not sure it held up to
what do you mean?
20. I'm trying to remember some of the lines and some of the stuff. I'm trying to remember some details and specifics, but I can't remember. Don't quite hold up to a 21st century sentimentality. I think. Anyway, I'm
all about singing and dancing. Master step in time. It's the master step in time. We can do that too.
But the Emily, I don't think I then finished because I was doing like like my own little personal rewatchables. Which actually totally changed the subject. I'm doing that with the Friends Giphy game.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever the Giphy is, whatever the answer is, I would just watch that episode.
Yeah.
While I'm like making breakfast or something, taking the 20 minutes. And so it's just randomly rewatching Friends, not in any sort of narrative or sequential order.
Oh.
It's kind of cool. It's kind of interesting to see. Unfortunately, I am familiar enough with the rest of the series that like it's difficult not to see it in context of what else happened before and what is probably going to happen afterwards. You know what I mean? So
right. So watching it like randomness, yeah.
It doesn't feel as quote unquote random as it would if you were watching it for the first time without any sort of context of like the rest of these people's lives.
I still do you still find yourself like laughing out loud to stuff that like the joke's coming, but you still
yeah totally. And also the like inappropriateness of how much I feel that I am in relationship with these characters. Right? Like as if they're real people that and hang out with. I get annoyed with Ross of like how idiotic he is. I get frustrated with Rachel of not like have more respect for yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
where they are in their character arc.
Yeah, I feel like there was a stretch. It was like after Ross, there was a stretch where it's just like, yeah, like the train wrecks that Rachel would find herself in,
Yeah.
like relationships. You're like, God, why do you keep doing this to yourself? Like, why do you?
And then like catching like early Monica, who's like super independent and super aware, and you know what I mean. And then like later, like middle Monica or later Monica that like almost becomes more like Rachel, and Rachel becomes more like Monica. There's all these like weird, and so you catch them. That's the part that is kind of cool. Like you catch them at these like random. You're like, what the hell? How did this person? What's this? But like I said, I know enough of the trajectory that it doesn't feel as random. Like, oh right, this is the batch where Joey is.
Did you do today's yet?
I haven't yet. This is too early, man. 7:30. I haven't.
No,
I'm barely through the second cup of coffee.
Okay, cool. Well, then I'm going to put you on the spot then because
so here's my deal. I usually either get it in one, or it's going to take me 4 because I got to narrow down the seasons.
Yeah.
So the cabinet's made. Is that the red? So I would type in under the guess the episode S04. No, this is going to be really boring for people. I go very slowly. Like I take forever. Oh yeah, I take forever. I'm telling you, I'm not as good as you at this. Like I don't have the depth of knowledge. So
first thing, like, and sometimes they trick you because like this GIF will tell, like, if you know what he's doing right now, this GIF is basically telling you what the title is.
Is it the tan? Is when he went and got tanned?
No, it's tanned. Do you remember? How can I give it to you without giving away? But yeah, he's having them look at something.
Yeah, and I'm trying to obviously, but so what? Like maybe.
Usually, I'll start with like one of their names. I'll be like, okay, he's obviously doing something instead around Ross. I'd probably start around Ross.
So what? So type in Ross.
What
happens there?
The one with Ross's new girlfriend. The one where Ross finds out. The one where Ross.
Right. Where I go like, okay, so it's not 4. It's definitely season 3.
Mm-hmm.
And he hasn't. Like so because I don't know exactly what it is, I would probably just take a stab at like the end of season 3. So
I would say you're on point.
So 0323. And then submit, and then what the little clue tells you. Oh, nailed it.
Yep.
That
one was really easy that was really easy because I saw like, oh, it's the one where Ross has the thing on his back, the one of the kundus, and I remember that too. The doctor's like, "Oh, you have a kundus. What's a kundus? What's a kundus with you?" But anyway, that's fine.
But so let's say it had been wrong, right season, but too late for those who aren't playing this game yet. It would give you an arrow whether you're too early or too late. So if you're too early, it's going to be a rightward arrow. If you're in the wrong season, it's going to be red. If you're in the right season, it'll be a yellow arrow. And if you're too far, it'll be a left arrow. Again, right season, yellow, wrong season, red. And so that's like, if I don't get it on the first guess, I try to guess something that like bookends it. And this is where it's kind of fun. You know, context clues, visual context clues. You look at like their physicality. What do they look like? Yeah. What else is going on around? Like that bookcase that was a second season, right? When Joey built the bookcase. So like
third season, yeah.
Right. Sure. And it's like by the end of the 4th season, they're out of there. They've moved or something, right? Isn't that the end of the 4th season?
Yeah, was that when the game? Rios? Yeah, I think so.
So like there's certain things you can tell if Chandler is living with Monica, you know, it's a little bit later. Like there's all those things of anyway. So I would now I have I have my work cut out, and thanks for you filling in my calendar. I'm gonna watch season
You're
3,
welcome.
episode 23, and watch
There
that
you go.
episode.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do the same thing. I look at it. I don't think I'm glad Ross kind of evolved to be a little bit more goofy because he was insufferable early on. Like he was just like mopey and like. And then I'm glad they got away from
Russ and Ross.
Russ and Ross. Russ was a what was he a dentist? I think Russ was a dentist. Maybe it was podiatrist. I don't remember. And then Joey got away from being kind of like the cool suave. Like he got a little bit
Right,
goofier
a
as
little
a way.
bit, a little bit more golden retriever-ish.
Totally, yeah. I think Chandler's the one that was probably changed the least, but was like the most consistent from the start, with the exception of his. He did. I read his book, Matthew Perry's book, and he said you can tell if he's skinny, he was on pills, and if he gained weight, he was drinking.
Yeah, totally. You can totally tell. There's there might be the second season where he's got the goatee.
Yeah.
Man,
really
I mean, he is like, it's.
You can see it was right from when he proposed to Monica, and you can see it because especially if you're watching back to back, when he proposed to Monica, he was a little heavier, and then and then that was the end of the season, and then you go to start the next season, and he's really skinny, and now they're all wearing. What's crazy is they're all wearing the same clothes because it was almost like one big episode, end of the season, new season. But you see how different he looks in just those two. So we watch back to back. You're like, wow.
Man, that's so. I really feel that's a tough life for the human being, Matthew Perry. Like I feel that's right because even now I'm sure that's hard because it's all documented. You know what I mean?
Too, like Chandler was him. Like he originally read the part and was trying to get the part. He's like Chandler was him, this like insecure, self-sabotage relationships, was always trying to like gain approval, get approval, but then also never felt like good enough. And I mean it's wild. Like it was wild. But he seems to be, I don't know. That's a life, man.
Yeah.
That's a life.
Yeah.
So
no thanks.
He should have done CrossFit.
Why?
Bad segue. If only Matthew Perry did CrossFit. I don't know. I'm not. No. So, but I thought we were talking about it last week, and we look at it more this week. Keeping up with Castro's programming a little bit. Do you wonder if Castro didn't come out and say I've been programming for the last 2 weeks? Do you think anyone would have noticed? Maybe not anyone. Do you think the vast majority of people would have noticed that there was a difference?
No.
Then why do you think that is?
I mean, would you have noticed?
No.
Well, then, I mean, answer your own question.
Well, I'm asking. That's why I asked you. If I wanted to answer my own question, I'd have a podcast by myself.
Well, what's the nature of the programming?
Constantly varied functional movements performed at high intensity across broad time and modal domains.
All right. So
move large loads long just quickly.
How, like, as a current affiliate owner who, actually delivers this as a product to paying customers, how do you measure and track your constantly varied functional fitness done at high intensity?
Well, that's a good question because I wanted to just for fun, I actually wanted to start as he's doing this, and then he has on guest programmers. Like I wanted to pull out. We were talking about that chart last week where you can mark off. I want to do that and see like as they, and I feel like they will. Like he's gonna, he's not just gonna have guest programmers and let them like throw, but he might though. He might let them throw up whatever they want. And I'm curious to see is if each one do we see a bias or do we see like, will there be that variance over the course? Just a fun little experiment. But I want to start going back and doing that. I'm just curious to see like, does it stay varied prior to like the month before, or do you see over the 2 weeks, you see more of a upper body bias or a short workout bias, or it's obviously still a very small sample size. It's been 10 days.
So did you see any biases in these?
No, I'm saying I haven't done that yet. I have not done that yet. That's
Well, I mean,
That's
in your question, like, can you see anything just like a cursory? I mean, you've been doing this long enough, like a cursory glance of like, oh, look at that. That's kind of interesting. I mean, and that begs the question. I mean, what are Dave Castro's tells?
Oh, that's a good question. Do you think he has tells? I mean, everyone has to at some point, right?
Yeah.
Some are just better at not showing them than others.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, curious. I liked. It was cool. So let's just look at these last 3 days. So Monday started because you had the rest day on Monday or the rest day on Sunday.
I saw you posted on the two previous rest days in the comments.
Yeah, I've been. Yeah, I want to comment more. I want to engage more. Like I want to help.
It was very cool.
I want to be part of it and
yeah,
do what he's pushing for. So
well, go. You got to go all the way. You got to go all the way back to his the first Monday, right? It was our the 10 rounds.
Yeah. And the comments are definitely up. Like if I look at those two, the comments are definitely up. Rest days are like that. I think there was like six comments on like one of the rest days.
Which is more, but that's still 6 times more than what had been
some other days. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you said, that's one thing he's trying to do is get people to try to drive people back to the website a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because I'm curious, like that's the only thing they've been updating. Like these stories have been the same stories here.
Did you watch Don Fall on your boys' podcast?
I was listening to it on the car ride yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He basically made the same comment that we have this platform, we have this website, and it's been dead.
Yeah. It's just been a landing page with CrossFit.com, but there's no,
And he did it more look from the perspective of I catch the replay of the games on ESPN. I'm like, you know what? I want to check out this CrossFit thing. Where can I go? And so I guess the affiliate map had been updated or something. And so it's sort of that, how do I get to, and it's that blue button on the right, that find a gym. So, which starts to look, this is a decent map. It kind of looks very similar to other maps. Like Andrew has a rock climbing app that he uses to find like sites. The twins have a fishing one that they've used. So this the heat circle, Drew had a term for that, which was kind of interesting. You're down to the right, by the way.
Yeah. Who's down to the right?
You are down to the right.
Yeah, this is us down here. Yeah.
If you were looking for Fairwinds.
No, I'm looking to see just. Okay, they are still affiliated.
Well, it's interesting. So if you click on is that still their names? Because didn't TrueCore change its?
It's like TrueCore. It's TrueCore Fit or TrueCore Fitness or something like that. Yeah.
So it's an interesting. If you doesn't matter if the website, if you click on yours, what does it take you to?
Or the website. Yeah, there you go. Website.
So it's an interesting fusion of entities that.
Go ahead.
No, that's it.
I thought I heard something too where they were so based on I guess the coaches you have staffed or something like that. I feel like Austin Malleolo was talking about it at one point where they're also maybe almost like levels of affiliates. So they'll have on there you'll see this affiliate has level 3 and level 2 coaches. This affiliate has level 1 coaches. Is like a way of
incentivizing.
Incentivizing, basically bumping you up. If there's 5 affiliates in the area, here's where you have the most investment in coaching, I guess you could say. Which is they're getting on it too, where they're talking about the level 1. All right, at this point, level 1 is your key to the castle. It's your way. It's you're in the doors now. If you're content with a level 1, then you're not growing as a coach and all that good stuff. Which is you can become better as a coach without taking your level 2, but that's the true test of CrossFit. Take your level 2, take your level 3, see how great you are. We've had that conversation before about the levels, but anyway, let's come back to this. Where's home?
It's interesting, right? How hard it is to figure out how to get back to where you were.
Right, like I was like, let me just go back.
There's no breadcrumb.
Ooh.
That's a
Here we
website term. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so this anyway, yeah, back to the programming. Yeah, like I mean, I feel like over the course of 10 days, do I notice more? Do I notice? We're gonna say, is there a tell, or do we notice some sort of bias? I mean, off the top of my head, no. Over the course of 10 days, I feel like he can't. But he went heavy. It's interesting because he went heavy on Wednesday, and then he went heavy again on, I think, Saturday.
Yeah.
So we had 2 heavy days within a week, and then here we are.
One's a pull, and one's a squat push, right?
One's a squat push, yeah. So heavy pull, heavy squat, heavy press.
Well,
no,
actually, it's just two
back
types
squat,
of
front squat.
squat.
That's right. Back squat, front squat.
Is it a squat snatch, or was it just snatch?
Squat snatch.
Hang squat snatch. So
yeah.
So you could go left. So pull, shoulders. That's run and pull, but really it's mono and gymnastics.
Yeah.
And it took about 12 to 15 minutes, maybe 20 at the longest. That was short. That was like 7-ish. I did it with burpee box jump overs instead of wall walks because we did it Tuesday maybe. And then I had some snatches and other programming, but so that's a heavy day, which is cool. So a little bit lower intensity than the rest day.
Reps too, though. What, 9?
What's up?
Plenty of reps though. 9. I'm not in the greens for a heavy day. It's a good amount of reps. 9, 15, 18. Yeah. Thursday was the rest day.
A little bit longer. I haven't done that one yet. I'm doing that one, I think, as a warm up tomorrow.
Cool.
So lower intensity, but try to do like a round every 3 minutes, 4 minutes, something like that. Those freaking I like that it was single dumbbell.
Yeah.
That's an interesting twist.
Why? Like, so why do you feel?
Oh, did I just lose power? Fuck! I think I just lost power.
Maybe we'll lose you in a sec. Maybe we'll lose you.
Or maybe it just popped a fuse. That's weird. I didn't lose power, but I lost power down here in the basement, which is odd. I should go check that out. Hold on, I'll be right back.
I'm going to keep working on here. So Jasko, the fact that he's still on means maybe it's not power, just popped a fuse. But here we go. Saturday went heavy, back squat, front squat. So this one I did from home. I don't have a rack though. And I did, look, I commented. I'm all the way down here. So I did back squat. I did ended up doing deadlifts and front squats with dumbbells. And this was I ran outside. Deadlifts 225 across, just went on the bar, and then dumbbell front squats, 2 sets of 35 all the way across. So I did 5x5 and 2x35. This was we just ate dinner. The kids are getting ready for bed. I just went outside, put weight on the bar, and just did it. It was good. Got it done in and out in 30 minutes. Bob's your uncle. Call it a day. Got the kids a bath. Went to bed. It was great. That was the heavy day. And again, as Castro's mentioned, he's going to do 3 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on, 1 day off. So Sunday, where in the past, we were talking about it last week, the CrossFit is 3 days on, 1 day off, 3 days on, 1 day off, 3 days on, 1 day off. The way Castro likes to program is this way: 3 days on, 1 day off, 2 days, 1 day off. He's going to do the same thing this week, where Sunday will be the rest day. And we're looking, this week hasn't been a heavy day yet, so run 4 miles for time or ruck 3 miles with a 30-pound pack. So just, again, another long one. And I might say another long was in like that AMRAP on Friday was 20 minutes. Nice little chipper. Let's see how fast people were doing this one. 14, 16, 18, 25, 1504, 1009, 740. Ooh, 741 moving. Jason Barkmeyer. That's fast. 704. That is fast. Let's go back. David Smith. Davy Boy Smith, British Bulldog. No GHD, so I had some sit-ups. 1220. Becca Voigt, 612. Man, she was moving too. All right, so 7 is not. This is, so if you don't know Becca Voigt, this is like CrossFit level. This is CrossFit Games level athlete right here. 612 RX. That's fast. Could you guys imagine? Leave it in the comments if you're watching. Could you imagine doing 50 GHDs, 40? Let's just say 50 GHDs, 40 dumbbell snatches, and 30 chest to bars. Just throw those in there. Or even 40 dumbbell snatches and 30 chest to bar pull-ups. Who's getting those done in 6 minutes? 40 dumbbell snatches and 30 chest to bar. Who's getting 50, 30, 50, 40, 30 done in 6 minutes? Who's getting 20 handstand push-ups and 10 cleans at 185, 125 done in 6 minutes? I know there's some people that can, but imagine getting. I mean, how much? What are you getting done in 6 minutes in this group right here? Just give you a perspective on how fit. Let's give you a look here, Becca Voigt. Yeah, she was. Yeah, she finished 11th worldwide in the quarterfinals, 40-44. Becca Voigt. So coming back to that, yeah, that's fast. Let's see what else we got. Oh, he's back. There he is. Hello, sir.
We'll see. See if that works. I get our house is wired so weirdly.
Well, good. We never lost you. So
yeah, it wasn't on this. It's just the basement circuit. One of the basement circuits is tied to something upstairs as well in the kitchen, like the lights. It's so random. And I think it's on a 10 fuse instead of 15 amp fuse. So it pops.
Did you check the rotary on the girder?
Yeah, I checked the end line. I'm can't use that word anymore. Tommy boy. Can't use that word.
So I was just while you're gone, I was going through this chipper from Tuesday.
Tuesday's chipper. Yeah, Andy tried that one with some oddly changed or set up GHD thing. He didn't like it. He said it was a mess. But I like that chipper.
Well, I like this. I love it. I was looking at people's times and just kind of going through, and he's about 14. Here, some of them went 8, and I was looking down. I saw someone finish in like 7 minutes. I was like, damn, that is fast. Becca Voigt is on here. There she is. Cool. Becca Voigt, 612 RX.
Jeez, that's about right.
And I was just asking, like, how many people are like, how many people are finishing this in 6 minutes? Like the 50, 40, 30. How many people are finishing that in 6 minutes?
Yeah, you got to be able to. If she probably was able to do everything unbroken.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, maybe those cleans go to singles.
Yeah.
I mean, that looks like if you replace those GHDs with, all pull. But if you switched them out with like, I don't know, burpees or calorie row or something, that could be. I mean, that could be an open workout right there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Make it like an 18-minute or 12-minute AMRAP. So the best, maybe you're getting through it twice into the third. So then it's and that way, if you put those calories first, that feels like, wasn't there, right? It was row, toes to bar, wall balls, cleans, muscle ups.
Muscle ups, yeah. Bring muscle up.
That's the repeat from this year.
Yep. It was this rep scheme too, wasn't it? 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. Same rep scheme?
I think it's 60, 50, 40, 30, 20.
20. That's it. Yeah, 20.
I mean, that's a Castro special. So there you go. That's it's maybe his right, his tell, but I don't think it's just him. And again, then it's tough. Like, how many of us have been influenced by him,
Mhm.
seeing as he's been doing it for so long? I think his tell is, if you want to play, you're gonna have to hurt like right at the edge of like where you want to be isn't
Yeah.
where you want to be, but if you want to win, or if you want to be at the you're gonna have to, like, he has no problem with pacing, but that pacing has to yield like suffering
Yeah.
if you want to get to like the next thing. And like, if you look at his competition style, like that's it, where Adrian Bosman has sort of shown like he's gonna define the corrals for you, right? Where the competition Jackie, where they
Mhm.
had to row at a certain pace, they had to do the thrusters, like he's like, you got to do a skill unbroken. There's power in that too. Like I kind of do like that style. And then if we were looking at like what's Glassman's tell, it's going to be a shitload of like gymnastics skill, gymnastic stuff. We know that because he took over in January of 19. He took over the programming, and it was like, what is this? I mean, it was horrible. It was horrible to coach. It was horrible to manage. But as far as like development, it was pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. Look at, like, saying kind of that tell, that point where you want to be is not where you want to be.
Right.
Thinking of that, like that's such a good, because like that point in that chipper from the open, when I remember like people would look at they would look at some of those movements, so rowing, wall balls. Because what was it? Was rowing? Was there something? Was it rowing, wall balls, cleans? Is that the right order? No. What am I forgetting? But I remember a lot of people looking. It's like, okay, the cleans, like I remember some people looking at the cleans like, I can totally clean that weight because it was about 135.95. It wasn't quote heavy.
So that workout's unbroken, right? Like the stimulus
Yeah.
of that workout is all that stuff should be unbroken. So especially even if you read the scaling directions, experienced athletes should work to maintain maximal speed throughout this chipper. Maybe a break between the, a 20-10 chest to bar, but 20 handstand push-ups should be unbroken, 10 cleans. I mean, at 185, nah, that ain't unbroken, but those are fast singles, right? You're not walking away from the bar. And so that's where, like, if you actually read this scaling notes, it drives you towards what is intended. And then, like you said, you look at somebody like a Becca Voigt Miller's time, 6:12.
Yeah.
I mean, what do we got? It's 150 reps, 6:12. Let's just round that up to 6. That's 390 seconds. Let's make it easy. Say 400, 150 reps, 400. That's 2.5 seconds per rep.
That's
good
fast.
luck. Good luck breaking that up. Right.
Yeah.
Like you can't, with transitions, and that's all unbroken.
Yeah. That's smoke. And that's one of those ones. I think Ackerman posted something earlier that like, I think Ackerman made a post something about like something about RX, and like most people shouldn't be doing RX. We've talked about this before. It's like, yeah, if this is one, if you're going to get most, I know we say most people, but like if this one's programmed for the gym, like, yeah, that's like, we're shooting for that 7 minutes. Like, I don't know, handstand push-ups. People are probably even just going to hand release push-ups at this point, just to keep that fast, just to keep that unbroken, just to not break.
What do they do for beginner?
Sit-ups, dumbbell snatches, assisted pull-ups, assisted push-ups, cleans.
Gotcha.
The cleans are 65-45.
I was just looking. I find as far as like from a scaling standpoint, weight's easy. You know what I mean? Like I probably actually wouldn't have somebody do 45-pound cleans. That seems like a hard
here.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because what are they going to do? Are they going to drop it? Like, how do you drop a bar? Like, are they putting it down? Is it like, are you driving them to then hold on to the bar? But I feel like then that seems a really big change between intermediate to beginner. That
Like,
seems like a
Do you think 45 is too light, or do you think just the
Yeah.
movement?
yeah. I think it's too late. I think they missed the
Gotcha.
stimulus on that. Like if I've got somebody, I don't know. There's just that's a lot of this is where .com does kind of fall apart in the scope of or in the context of what recent interviews of what their goal or mission is. I mean, two sides of this argument. One, you could say doesn't fall apart. Their
Mhm.
whole goal is drive you into an affiliate, get to an affiliate. So it's like you can't do this workout on your own in your garage by yourself because there's no guidance on this outside of those little bits of the scaling
Yeah.
and that stuff. Like I just
Maybe reading through the comments too, like getting a gauge of what people were doing and
right.
how they did it.
Whereas
Yeah.
in the past, maybe they would have had a video of somebody doing the workout or like a thing, but they got away from that. Which okay, so the argument for that is because they want to drive you into an affiliate. But if they want to make it accessible to as many people as possible, how do you offer this? This is where I liked Glassman's move to create the Archie Bunker videos.
Right.
So
The old man on the couch.
Yeah, this is where
Yeah.
Street Parking, I think, has a better handle on this, where their videos, so you do a workout like this and you have somebody do it with, they don't have anything. All they have is a dumbbell. They have a 25-pound dumbbell. This is easily modified to still get the same intended stimulus within the same general movements, right? So it's 50-pound, or it's just a regular sit-up, 50 regular sit-ups, 40 snatches, dumbbell snatches, piece of cake, 30 single arm bent over rows, alternated every 5 reps, which is kind of like a dumbbell snatch. You could do pullovers, right? They could be laying down on their back and do it like a pullover and touch the chest, so that at least like activates the lats, tries, pec, blah blah blah.
Get that shoulder fatigue in front of the pull-ups.
Regular 20 handstand or regular 20 push-ups, or you could have, if you're really and you got a wall, you could do a handstand push-up and then cleans, single arm cleans, rotate 5 on one side, 5 on the other side. So like boom. And I bet you if you and I did that 25-pound dumbbell, good luck. We finish it in 6:12.
Yeah, like even looking at that, I was like, I would love to see, like, put that out there. Do the beginner option. How fast? I don't know. Maybe I'll do that. Just test it out. How fast can I get it? How fast can I get the beginner done? Can I stay that? Becca Voigt's 6-7 minute time.
Well, I mean, 50 sit-ups is going to take you a minute and a half, most likely. Just do regular.
Oh, you think that's that? Oh, well, thanks.
Yeah, 50 sit-ups take about a minute and a half. 40 dumbbell snatches will probably take you another minute and a half, so you're at 3 minutes. I think you could probably do those pullovers in about a minute, so now you're sitting at 4. How long does it take you to do 20 push-ups? Minute.
Sure. Yeah,
so on the fast side, so you're sitting at 5. I think you could finish under 6 minutes. Yeah. I think, and that's gonna be, and that's, I mean, I'm saying
it's gonna be all mouth. It's gonna be all mouth breathing. So everybody can hear up here is just completely like it's all mouth breathing. But
so that's right. Like that's I think where they're missing something is if they want to make it accessible, which I mean, whatever. We're nitpicking at this point. Like,
no, but like you said though, maybe that's their move. Like, hey, here's this. But if someone's really like, I'm trying to figure out how to do this, I can figure out how to do this. Hey, go find a gym.
Yeah. Boom. So, but they're
trying not to give away the farm, right?
I just think there's a missing component of so a consistent model for each day's posting. If you're trying to habituate the audience into, right, like I think of that Giphy game. Like what makes it so addicting? I've been getting into the game. The New York Times has another thing called matches or pairs, patterns, groups. I don't know, whatever. It's 16 words. They can be grouped into 4. They're going to be grouped into 4 pattern words. And it's got color coding. Like, it's freaking genius. And I'm hooked. It's like a game we used to play with the boys when we were driving called Tribonds, where if I give you 3 words, doctor's office, sharks, and no. Doctor's office, fish, and sheet music. What do they all have in common?
Skills.
Yeah, totally. Right. Like that's the idea that's the premise of this game. It is like it follows a pattern every single day. And so I am now habituated to playing that game, and I get the same reward, and I expect the same reward. I have the anticipation. So unknown and unknowable. Awesome. I think that's a great thing for CrossFit. But if I come to this site, scroll back up, like as if we came, just go to today's or even yesterday's, like, okay, so I come to this, what would you expect that picture to the right to, can you click on that picture? No. Well, you get the picture, you know what I mean? But there's no hyperlink on it.
Right.
If I click on the GHD sit-ups, does it hyperlink to something? Awesome. All right. So it's got a movement. That's actually pretty dang cool. Now, does it take you to a different site, or did it just open it? Can you go back to
I go right back to
you go right back to it. So I guess that's pretty clean. That's really impressive. And this is, whenever they built these, genius, the standardized on the white background. Like, so this is a good move. Like,
we've been using these same videos for years now. Like, these videos are going to be timeless.
Mm-hmm. This is that's genius. Cleaning that up, and then bugs in here. It would be cool to see somebody go through this whole thing, or even like what Cap did, or is a whiteboard brief.
Yeah.
Like a 2.5 minute whiteboard brief. I would totally watch that.
Which they used to kind of do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I always really like those. They just give you a quick. Yeah, it was like 2 minutes or so.
2 or 3 minute. Could even be Castro. Where'd this one come from? Whatever. But I mean, again, like that's a lot harder than it sounds to put together. So I totally appreciate that they're not. Whoa, a little blurry. I totally appreciate that they're not there yet. I just think if they're a multi-million-dollar international global company, I think they could get there pretty easily. Well, I say that I don't know how easily, but man, it would be cool to see them get to that. Or not, maybe because they want to drive people to the affiliate.
So as I'm flipping through, I'm just curious, like you said, looking for more engagement. So like this is Wednesday, so 80 comments yesterday, 69 last Wednesday. So it's still up though. 61 the week before that. 91 the week before that. Now this is during the games too. Like
during the games, yeah.
I'd expect that.
So it does look like the initial swell of Castro getting double or almost 3 times as many comments has sort of waned or settled back out to the standard somewhere between 70 to 90 people posting.
Yeah, that's what it seemed. Oh, sorry.
So this, am I right? That comes to the argument, or that doesn't beg that that offers the question of, okay, so they had a swell because of the excitement of man, that's a tough workout right there.
Yeah,
the L sit and odd object. That's awesome.
Was that Gosh, what was that? This one.
Yeah, but if they got the initial swelling of interest,
Yeah.
They put the cart before the horse, and they didn't have a place for me to go once I was of interest. So I had all this excitement. I show up, and now I'm watching a live stream from 7 miles away.
Yeah.
So what's worse? What's better? Don't get me excited, and then when I do show up, overwhelm me with unexpected delivery, or get me excited, I come, and then it's extreme disappointment.
The
Right?
former.
This is the right. And so, because from my standpoint, it's just my opinion, the latter or the former, I'm building possible trust and consistency of expectation. With the latter, not only do I degrade your expectation of consistency of product, I don't trust them anymore. Right? Like, it's just, I'm like, oh, well, yeah, they're going to promise something, but then they're not going to deliver on it. Like,
Yeah.
what the heck? Just deliver on. And that might be why they're not posting videos, or they're not posting, right? Like, this isn't what we deliver. We deliver a workout of the day on here, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, right? And then the next thing maybe will be the next step. So I don't know where they're going.
It could be too, hearing Don Fall talk on the Best Hour podcast, where he's talking about, he was talking about, streamlining stuff. So like, they don't, I felt like there was almost like kind of a comment toward the media department, where you don't have to have like the swelling media department to have a good media department. And so he was kind of talking about, streamlining some of the stuff and, not having all this excess, and maybe like, are those like, we like those workout videos. Are those workout videos necessary for the function of CrossFit? Are those, or is that like an extra expenditure? Is that an extra?
Will you use it as an affiliate owner?
Will I use an affiliate owner? No, because I have CAP. I would use that. I think
So
if
there
I
you go.
was,
Their service, they are trying.
Yeah.
I would say, based on his comments, 70% of their efforts are going towards the affiliate.
Yeah.
That rightfully so. Like, their engine is the affiliate. 20% is going to the general population, who kind of don't know what CrossFit is, but they're interested in it. And so, right, those 20% come, and then they drive them towards that effort of where they're placing 70% of their effort. And then the 10% is sort of like corporate sponsors, partnerships, right? Those things that sort of keep the lights on and make things that 10% change function. Like, this is the 10% where, like, if I lose it, I don't really care. If it generates something cool, I can fold that into supporting my 70%. So you always have your your Neo remainder of, like, right, from the Matrix of, like, I can't really control this, but it's a great place. It's the great idea fairy repository. Somebody, that'd be awesome. You should totally sell smoothies in the gym lobby. That's a great idea, right? Like, okay, cool, right? And so it's, we'll give it a try. If it doesn't take, like, whatever, it doesn't make anybody angry, it doesn't really great. It's a huge success. Be like, sweet. Let's see how then we fold that into supporting the affiliates.
Yeah.
So, like, if this guest programming thing works out, right? Maybe it's this is where they start getting affiliate owners and managers into it, right? They've talked about, I think, Castro recently in this week's Week in Review, somebody asked, will Rich Froning or Jason Khalipa program, right? These are well-known. Will a Rebecca Voigt Miller or Kristen Clever comes back on the scene, Annie Sakamoto, right? Like, affiliate owners that we kind of know. I still miss, like, when they would have, it was the level 1 flow masters or level 1 trainers in their red t-shirts giving Kevin Ogar did like a 3-day cycle where he explained it. Roy McKernan did it, right? Like, those, I remember those. Maybe I'm thinking of those. Were those on the CAP videos? No, they were on the main site.
No, they were on the website.
It's when CAP was tied.
Yeah.
And Castro, when he talked about taking this on as programming, is fusing we're synchronizing efforts across all, and actually Fall just talked about this too, synchronizing efforts across all the different categories or areas of effort. I just don't understand how CAP is not synced, linked with main site.
Well, and I was thinking about that because, I mean, I wish they never did make that change. I think just people were like, well, I'm paying for this, so why we had this conversation about, well, what do you know, well, yeah, but you're not just paying for the workout. There's so much on the affiliate side that you get when you're paying for the programming. Remember, they were using Ham Plan, and so that was, that was Spencer and Austin and
James.
Thank you. And so, like, I'm assuming they're still doing CAP, and now Castro's doing this. So how do you integrate those two without saying we don't need you guys anymore, or do they're part of the rotation? Because it makes you wonder too. Like, was there a contract that they signed? Like, you guys are now, they have a contract to be the programmer for CAP. So maybe it's not that easy to just be like, all right, you guys are done. I mean, I think it makes sense if you're using the affiliate programming, then it should mirror CrossFit.com. I mean, it's the same. It's the mothership.
Well, we've already talked about it. Programming doesn't matter. I mean, it really doesn't. So what CAP offers? Yeah, what CAP offers is the opportunity for a head coach, a head programmer to train and offer a platform for other coaches and new coaches for conversations to happen, for warm-ups, for skill work, for class management, for class plan development, right? The things that everybody knows how geometry works, right?
I got to see geometry, so yeah.
Okay, so the geometry is not a mystery. Like, we can all agree on this is how geometry works. So then why are some geometry teachers better than others? Why are some geometry students better than others? What do we define as better or worse? Right? Like, the question is not, does CrossFit work? Is CrossFit effective? That, I think it's proven like that. And anybody who wants to debate that, like, I think that's a waste of time because they don't know what they're debating or talking about. It's sort of like, how does the sun rise? Right? Like, it's just astronomy, man. Like, it's just the way celestial bodies move and right? Like, there's 180 degrees in a triangle, right? So if I have a right angle, the other two have to add up to 90 degrees. Like, it's just the way it is. And then based on that, I can figure out lengths of sides and, blah, 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 all kinds of stuff. It's amazing. It's, when you actually look at like how that all works and Euclidean and post-Euclidean geometry, like, you're like, holy shit, this is really fascinatingly cool and consistent. Okay, so then why did you get a C? Right? Like, what was it that didn't facilitate you grasping that? Was it the delivery? Was it you as the student? Was it a learning difference? Was it the environment? Was it all this other stuff? That's CAP.
Yeah.
And so what's the difference of why you could go to the 5 a.m. class coached by, Coach A, and go to the 9:30 class coached by Coach B, and have two distinctly different experiences? Programming is the same, but right, like, that, if I were a deliverer of a product and I have somebody come to my lunch service, and I'm running a barbecue restaurant, I have somebody come to a lunch service and get the brisket, and then they come to the dinner service and they get the brisket, and it's a different brisket, I got a problem. I got a major quality control consistency problem. CAP facilitates for the affiliate a solution or a medium of dealing with that inconsistency. And so that, because it's expectation, it's trust, It's the ability to make a promise as a provider of a service and deliver on that promise.
Yeah.
If this is part of that offering from CrossFit.com, then how is this communicating to you as the affiliate owner that this is part of supporting your ability to deliver on a consistency of a product?
I don't know that it does.
Then I don't think they've met one of Don Fall's promises or one of his expectations. If he wants to reach 30 million people and have 30,000 affiliates, there is still a major disconnect in that. Now, again, is that an absence of you as the affiliate manager? Is that an absence of the product being delivered? Is there an absence of narrative? Is there an inconsistency of delivery of the message? Right? There's a lot of it's not a complicated problem, but I think it's a hard problem because you have a myriad of variables that probably need to be defined prior to starting to solve them.
Yeah.
Or if you're going to just jump in and start solving, which is fine. That's a solution too. Build the plane while you're flying it.
Then, which is what I feel like maybe that's my thought is like, go ahead. I cut you off. Go ahead.
But then that's just a different way of attacking it, which is totally fine. Like just then say, hey, we've got about 7 or 8 variables that we're trying to solve as we're moving forward. Understand then that as you solve one, if you think your variable was this, but as you solved for the other variables, it's going to change. That's what makes it a hard problem. It's not complicated in the sense that like, right, it's only like probably 4 or 5 things that they have to, see where but if I move something in a direction and now all of a sudden it's changed the whole way that the next thing and I had planned for this thing to fit, you're like, shit, it doesn't fit anymore. Like instead of just like serial inline fix things, like I'll fix this first, then I'll fix this, then I'll fix this, then I'll fix this. Like that's the other way, but that's slow. That's not, it's super non-dynamic. Doesn't really match, I think. So the reality is, they're building the plane as they're flying it. I think then maybe they got a lot of smart people probably working on the problem. I don't think they've actually got anything to fix. I think they just need to go back to like what it was, not what it was before. I'm not like, like I said, it's not 2007 or 2009 or 2015 anymore. Like it's a different world. But the model is there. Like the blog structured web page was there. Now I am way outside my professional expertise. Like I don't know what SEO. Oh no. Actually, I did hear him I really like this. They have all the information with the journal articles. Like they have everything they need. It's just in PDF form and you can't SEO PDFs, search engine optimize. Like you don't not because it's not searchable. Right. So they've got to somehow convert all of that in, like it's like he said something. It's like thousands of millions of data.
It's almost
blah 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 blah.
Yeah, it's like almost 2 decades worth of like.
Yeah. They've got all this stuff, and I think it was Fern is like, why don't we own the deadlift? Like if you search deadlift, more has been written about the deadlift in the CrossFit context than anywhere else. So if I search deadlift on the internet, why does the first 9-10 pages that come up, why aren't they CrossFit.com pages with new journal articles and videos? Because they have, and Don made a great, he's like, that's a great idea. And they're like, yeah, it's so easy. And he goes, I don't think it's as easy as you think it is. And I'd so it was like, that's a really good point. Because I don't know how hard that would be. Yeah. But like when he framed it there, I'm like, holy shit, that probably is that's probably a year of just somebody 8 hours a day, 6 days a week, take 1 day off, or even 3 days on, 1 day off. Yeah. That's like a year of somebody, but hey, maybe that's something AI could tackle for him, with that's these developments. So I don't know. it's exciting. It's cool. I think if we go back to something I said, like bottom line, like this shit works. Even if you do it badly, it's still actually better than anything else out there. Savant, go ahead. I've talked long enough.
No, I think it's my thought is with this whole process is hearing Don Fall talk, and he was talking about how much he's done in the last year, and he said something about like, they want to get 3 times as much done in the next year as they did this last year, and looking at what it is that they've done. But I'm definitely a yeah, cool. I think they made this change. Castro's doing the programming now, and they made this change, and sometimes I feel like, all right, well, what's the next one? Like, I need it right now. What's the next one? Well, the next one might be 3 months down the road, but
what do you mean? What's the next one?
Like, we see like in our thoughts is like, okay, well, it's been 2 weeks now. Why is .com programming not consistent with CAP programming? Maybe it is. Maybe is that something that's even in the works? Should they be more transparent about that, or is it just like we said, they're just kind of building the ship building the plane as they fly it? Like, do we just, hey, they can do one thing, they're going to do one thing at a time, and it'll come out when it come out, or you'll let it know when it comes out. But I mean,
what do you do with the CAP programming? How do you implement it?
What do you mean?
Like, so I think of like, I buy these like at Sam's Club. They have this fajita chicken and steak. And so like it could be easily as like slice off the top of the packaging, throw it on a plate, put it in the microwave. You got steak and chicken. But invariably, like, I do something with it. Like, I take it, I put it in the skillet, I add onions and mushrooms and peppers. Some nights we make them into fajitas. Nicole sometimes does quesadillas with it. Sometimes I make steak sandwiches with the steak, right? So it is a base, and it makes it super. I don't have to thaw it. I don't have to season it. I don't have to do something. And then sometimes it's as simple as, hey, there's, mac and cheese cups and, prepackaged steak in the fridge, boys. Like, that's what's for dinner. I'm not going to be home, type of thing. Right. So there's a variety, there's a variable or a spectrum of modifications, usefulness with that base product. What do you do with CAP in that same sort of analogy?
So they say this on the Best Hour a lot too. Like, even if you use one of those, like a CAP or a Mayhem or a Wuo, you have these prepackaged workouts and plans, but only 70% of the job is done. So like, certain things you need to take into account is, logistics, take into account your population, like this workout as it's written. Do you have enough equipment, or is this, so I think what I'd say is I for the most part, it's as is. And then as I go through the lesson plans, I'll make these tweaks here and there. Maybe I'll feel like, hey, our coaching staff is, I was thinking about this when you and Shelly both stopped coaching. That was like, 12 plus years of experience of coaching that's now like gone. And so we have these new coachings on. And so when I look at some of these progressions or some of the stuff that's in there is, here's what you're going to coach, I simplify that even more. For a newer coach, like, hey, less is more sometimes. And so a lot of it is, I'll go through and kind of day by day make those adjustments, whether it's logistics, whether it's that muscle up progression's a little out there for most of our population. So let me scale this back a little bit. And a lot of it is there's tweaking here and there. Like I said, about 70% of it's done, and then it's just these other adjustments as we go through.
Yeah. So maybe there's room to look. You've got 2 weeks worth of .com programming.
Yeah.
And you look at CAP, and maybe taking, when you do your 9-day back chart, there was a journal article about in warmups, they should probably monostructural weightlifting, gymnastics, couplet, triplet, chipper, like even in the warmups, there was a variety of variability that you want to try and incorporate in warmups and skill sessions. And then actually in the main WOD too, you can trust that CAP will have that variability built in, and you can trust that main page will have that variability built in. If they're not going to integrate them or fuse them, or if that's what you're I'm just saying, based on your comment of like asking what's next, if that's what you're asking for or thinking or hoping is what's next, do it yourself and incorporate the .com warm up. This is what I've been doing on my own programming, my own workouts. Like I like Mayhem, but their warm ups are kind of shitty. They get stale. But they have a ton of good successory and accessory work. They kind of have cool lifting progressions. I don't really want to do the lifting progressions. It's too much. So I like the age group programming. I've really liked the .com stuff. So sometimes the age group programming is the warm up. Sometimes the .com is the main workout. Sometimes, right? And it's this like willingness to not see it as like 3 different warm ups, but like looking at that chipper, what an awesome 15-minute warm up that could be.
Yeah.
We're going to
use that as a warm up. Yeah.
Right. We're going to do 10 sit-ups and then everybody hold in child's pose for 30 seconds. We're going to do 20 sit-ups. Everybody hold in, spread your legs and touch your toes. We're going to do 30 sit-ups, right? That would be more than 50. But you see what I mean? Like you can have, boom, you did the sit-ups and you did some mobility in between. Now I want everyone to do 40 light dumbbell snatches. Boom, boom, boom. Now we're going to do 30, right? And by the time you're done, it's a 20-25 minute workout. And maybe the cat plan workout that day is like a heavy deadlift day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, how do those relate? Well, I worked through all my joints, full range of motion. I got my heart rate elevated, and I forget what the fourth element is.
Internal,
my body temperature. Yeah. My body temperature was raised, right? And they tasted some of the stuff that's showing up at .com. So when a chipper like that shows up or switch it, right? Maybe it's a deadlift warm up. You mean use weightlifting as a warm up? We talked about it before. It's a deadlift warm up, sets up the chipper at intensity. It's only
I've totally.
Go ahead.
I had this thought going, looking at his programming, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, it'd be fun to take his programming for the next few weeks and just go through that, get practice, like writing my own class plan. Just the purpose of like paying attention to the programming and the variants, and that practice for like level 3 as well. But doing an RX month with his programming, and for the most part, like no weights or in particular distances and that sort of thing, but take it, write class plans based on that, and then let it be an RX month, which I thought would be kind of fun. I also want to go back to there's been something about like getting excited to wait to see what the workout is tomorrow at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
I'm playing with that a little bit. It's like, I kind of want to go back to that. There's something to that. There's something to the.
Oh, you mean like because you publish the whole week?
They basically get like the whole, they get like a few days out, like it's 3 or 4 days out. So they, people say they like to kind of look ahead and plan their week and this and that. There's nothing, if cherry picking means you're coming to the gym, then cherry pick away. If it means it, but is that CrossFit?
No.
And so
and again, I can answer that question for you. No, it's not, because CrossFit.com does not release it until the night before.
And so I'm really
it's not capital C, capital F. You're doing something else. Yeah. Right? Like that's and
there's that whole bringing the salt shaker back to the middle of the table, right? Like it's
I like that. Yeah. Which actually that was Adrian Bosman first.
Actually, wasn't that him? Yeah. He's
there's a video. There's a video from like 2009 or 10 or something of them, and Adrian's got some horrible mustache. And they're at a restaurant somewhere and they're having that conversation. But there is something to. I kicked it to Andy. I was rewatching the California Road Trip series, the 7-part series with Orlando starting in San Diego, it totally holds up. It's so awesome, and it's so cool to see.
I haven't watched that. I'm gonna watch that.
Which then drove me to the Tahoe Throwdown. Not as enjoyable. Didn't really. I mean, it was fine, but it was really enjoyable to see baby Rich Froning. Especially after watching him talk about the Leadville 100 that he did, the mountain bike race. Yeah. Very cool.
That was cool.
But I've always been. I'm Andy and I always argue, but I don't think he's a Froning fan. Maybe he's coming around to him, and I've never really been like a Noah Olson fan. He is. So it's sort of, and again, like these are actual human beings. I just mean like
we're all Brooke Wells' fans, right?
Sure. I mean, like have met none of them, so who the hell
Yeah.
am I to say or comment on them as far as their like them as human beings?
Yeah.
I simply mean I enjoyed. I've always enjoyed Rich Froning's approach to CrossFit and his execution of it and the products that he puts out in the context of them being CrossFit. He's always been doesn't have a plan, adopts the every day would walk up to the whiteboard and be like, all right, well, what do we feel like doing today? How are we feeling? What did we do yesterday? What did we do the day before? Let's snatch. Rich, we snatched we snatched yesterday morning. Oh, right. Well, what kind of snatch did we do? Right. So he instinctively, as an athlete, both in regular sports, but then also in programming, naturally veers towards variance.
Yeah.
That is unnatural. Like most people will kind of just find what they like, find their groove, and stick with it. Like their biases will show. He doesn't often have biases that show. So there's a track you can see what is Rich doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually sometimes better than the main track that the other guys. But Jake Lockhart, who is the primary programming for Mayhem, also has a similar sort of instinct towards, and then the other guy is Rich's former teammate, friend, cousin, Hunsicker.
Darren
Hunsicker. Yeah. So either way, the team's pretty amazing. But what I notice is they do shirk on some of the warm-ups. And that's the part that, like, for me, I really enjoy, because that's the thing that, like, on the days I don't want to work,
get through that, you feel good.
Yeah, it'll get me moving. And that's where like incorporating my own variants with the .com stuff has been in the last like month and a half. Because I started doing it. I went back to I always go back to like 10, 11, 12. I feel like those are my sweet spot years. I started on January 1st.
Those are the good years.
Yep. And so I was doing that for about 2 or 3 weeks. And then the Castro thing started and I was like, sweet. And so that's now I'm using that. Where was I going with this? I don't even remember. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it was incorporating variants. Yeah. Well, I'm burnt.
So what's your takeaway? So answer your question. Your first question.
What was my first question? Is there like am I seeing variants? Am I seeing
can you notice if it was Castro or not?
I mean, I don't think I would have. I definitely don't think I would have.
Me neither. And I think that's good.
I feel like it's funny seeing 4 miles for time or a 3 mile ruck. Which funny story, I did that. But my ruck was I put a 30-pound dumbbell in the backpack, and I put Fee and Everett in our wagon, and I just went for a walk. And I said, I'm just gonna go. And I just said, I was like, I'm gonna go for an hour. We're gonna go up the road and back. And I remember finishing and they were great and feeded the second half of me. So we walked all the way down like to the end of the street and walked back and it was about an hour and 3 minutes total from start to finish. I was like, all right, that was probably about 3 or 4 miles, and I mapped it out, 1.9 miles. I'm like, son of a bitch, like it felt so much longer.
Did you stop? Did you stop at any point along the way and like, oh, look at these flowers?
No. Like a little bit here. They like picked a flower here or there, and then a couple points like Everett wanted to get out, and I was like, dude, like you're gonna stay in the wagon because if I let you out, then you're gonna be all over the place. Yeah. So a couple of stops here and there, but it was so I was like, God damn it. But it was great. Like I said, and plus pushing the wagon, like, I mean, that's about 60 pounds of kids right there. However, I don't know. About 50 of that is Everett. So, but it was fun, and I did it with the kids, and it was a beautiful night. So
that's cool.
But it was fun to do that. But seeing that, when I saw that, I was like, that felt like Castro, just that long grind, just keep it simple. Doesn't have to be anything special to be fitness.
Yeah.
And that felt like old school. That felt like CrossFit. That felt like just that throwing that in there in the middle of the week, or even the beginning of the week. That was Monday, I think. So in the middle of his program, you could say, in the middle of his cycle. So, yeah. But yeah, if you gave me 50 workouts and said inside these 50 workouts there are 10 of them that are Dave Castro's, would I have noticed? Probably not. So good. That's my take. Cool.
Cool.
What are you feeling today, Jack?
I am grateful for golf season, for the Annapolis High School golf season, and I can't believe it took me 3 years to figure out that I could just walk along as they're playing. So
really?
2 matches in, Matt and Josh are the top 2 players for the team this year, which is awesome. So they go off. Matt goes off in the first foursome. Josh goes off in the second foursome. And first match was at Walden Country Club. Last night's was at Crofton Country Club. It was great. You could totally if you play it right and sort of stage yourself at the right spot, you can watch the tee off and then the approach and the putt. And then I could watch Josh tee off and his approach and then see Matt's tee off the next. The layout has been great. And it's the perfect setup for me because in the end, I really just like watching them play. Yeah. I don't really want to play, though I do kind of enjoy playing if we're doing a scramble or whatever, but I don't want to play golf that much because it's I'm not that good and it kind of starts to hurt. And it's this is not enjoyable. And it triggers all kinds of childhood memories of I hate this. Screw you, Dad. Blah, blah, blah. It's all right. I joke, but I don't joke, but I am joking. So I get to just walk through the woods on beautiful days, watching the twins play golf, enjoying their ups and downs. And I'm in nature and I'm getting an extra 2.5, 3 mile hike, basically.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And it was hot on Monday's match. Okay. Yeah, Monday. Legit dripping in sweat. Yesterday was okay. It was a little bit better. And then Friday's match is up in Columbia at a place called Fairway Hills. Never been up there. So I'm going to go for that one. But yeah, dude, it's great. I got into a little bit of trouble on Monday because I didn't know the rules. And I was talking to Matt as we were going, kind of walking along with him. I'm his caddy, whatever. Coach comes rolling up. Hey, Dad, come here. And hey, what's up, Coach? He's like, you can't talk to him while they're playing. What? And then I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I thought he was getting kicked off. I thought you got to go back to the car. He's like, yeah. He's like, even as coaches, we're not really allowed. You just kind of got to let them go. And I was like, oh, okay. He goes, you know what? Make it real easy. Stay on the cart path. I was like, that's a great rule.
There you go.
Visual.
Simple, yeah.
Yeah. I got a boundary. Don't
tell me what not to do. Just tell me what to do, and I'll do it. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. I was like, good cue. Appreciate it. Yeah. So, and I was obviously and in my defense, I was just following. There was this mom for one of the other kids on the other team who was walking along, and she was like, your ball's over there. Oh, that was a great shot, right? She was totally engaging with him. Yeah. And granted, she wasn't quite as close as I was, so I'm not completely absolving myself of responsibility. I was 100%.
Also not the first, it won't be the last. It's
right. And so then there was a follow-up email by the team manager, and she's like, great, so cool, exciting. I mean, just a couple things from Coach. number one, players, and parents love to see the excitement, but if you're going to walk along with the kids, we need you to blah 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 blah. And I was like, that was for me.
Guys, not bad.
My fault. Yeah, exactly. Awesome. But it's awesome, man. It's seriously, it's just the perfect scenario of that's awesome. If I could design how to make golf as enjoyable as possible, this is it. Free, walk along, watch people I like, and get to hang out in nature and beautiful day. If it was pouring down rain, I'm sure it'll be, but they won't be playing if it's pouring down rain. So
no, they won't play. No.
Yeah.
No, that's cool.
Yeah, man. And I'm like, God dang it. Why didn't I figure this out last year? But instead of lamenting on that, I'm super grateful for it. And Nicole came out. She got to catch the last 5 or 6 holes. She got out of work and scooted over. So she'll get to see a couple of them. The ones that are on Wednesdays are perfect because she has afternoon meetings that finish, and then she can rush over and get there, which is perfect. It's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's glad. I I guess yeah. Like I don't find golf exciting, but I think I would find it exciting if it was my kid for sure.
Totally. And then you get to like watch the interaction between them and the other players and stuff. And yeah, I kind of started rooting for one of the other players. He had an amazing putt from off the green, and like we all cheered. It was very cool. It was, yeah,
Everyone was into it. That's awesome.
yeah.
Cool. I think mine is. I think I'll definitely say mine was the my so it's either A, Kim and Ed, my in-laws, taking the kids so we could drive up to Pittsburgh and like be with Axel. Like I think that, like I said, I was telling you earlier, I think it was easier to drive 5 hours, have Meg go work, me hang with Axel for a while she worked, and then when she's done, hop back in the car, take 5 hours home. Then it would have been either A, like we did in Atlantic City, where we took all the kids with us, and then I was in charge of all the kids in a city that I don't know. So, but this was the first time that Everett has been away from both of us. Like Meg traveled a little bit when he was a baby and I was with him, but it's the first time Everett. So this is the first time Everett slept somewhere that we weren't there. And he hadn't taken a nap that day, so we thought maybe he was going to fall asleep. It was like 10:30 at night. He was awake crying. He was really upset. Kim FaceTimed us. So I think part of my gratitude is technology, where she FaceTimed us. And we had just gotten to the hotel and Everett was awake and he was really upset. And we kind of able to talk him down. And the two songs right now that he'll sing along with, the songs that are his, like if he needs a happy time like this, Frosty the Snowman and 12 Days of Christmas, but it's this version with Elmo.
Oh.
It's and so Megan, so they turned up. So while Megan was FaceTiming him, they turned off the lights and he was upset. And Meg she sang that 12 Days of Christmas song, which it's the same word. It's a long song. She sang it three times.
In Elmo's voice?
Not in Elmo's voice.
Oh, okay.
And but she sang it 3 times in a row and he fell asleep. And it was just one of those, like, it was I think we put Ed to sleep too, which was nice. I think Meg sang him to sleep too. But that, and then Fiona was being such a great big sister. She was doing all these things to try to take care of him. So I don't know. It was hard to be away from them. It's hard. Like as soon as we dropped them off, I missed them. But then, they were great. Fee was taking care of them, and we were able to. I don't know. So maybe I think it's technology. I think it was. I'm grateful for our in-laws taking them so we could get this thing done. And then I got to see a little bit of Pittsburgh with Axel, so it was good times.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it worked out. In fact, let me see if I can.
That sounds like an accessory service worth marketing and selling and commodifying. Is Got Trouble Sleeping? Meg Hoyt, Sing You to Sleep, 12 Days of Christmas.
Sleep, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be a lot of things.
Lullabies. See if Calm's in the market for a new.
Oh yeah.
Right, a new series. Lullabies by Meg.
Yeah, that might be it.
Mega lullaby, lullamegs. Lullabies. How about just lullabies by Meg?
Sounds good. All right. I think we're going to take a nap.
You ain't gonna need no lullaby.
No, I do not need lullabies. As soon as my head hits the pillow, Meg is in awe of how I can just fall asleep on anywhere I land some days.
What you listening to on your rides in and out? Do you got any?
Some days I'll listen to. So it just depends on the day. Some days I like listening to podcasts. It might be Best Hour. It might be something with wrestling, like something to just get my mind off things. Some mornings it's loud music to kind of wake me up. And there's actually probably at least once, twice a week, I like nothing. I just want no sound. I just want the peace of the drive.
Cool.
So mixes up. But yeah, I can definitely say at least once a week. It's nothing, which is actually kind of nice.
Good.
So yeah, it varies. Anyway. All right, dude.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for being flexible. Thanks for switching up with me this week.
No worries. It was fun.
Well, I'll talk to you later.
See ya.
5, 4,